But again, just want to thank Kim and Matt for giving up their time and their experiences and, everything, their knowledge, and just, like I said, they bring themselves and they leave part of them here for us to take home. So thank you so much for doing that for us today, mate. Just a little reflection pieces out there. I'm looking around today and, every face in this room, I've personally got to know in a roundabout way through Next Step. So thank you so much for your support for the charity and even just for myself and the other guys. So humbling to see each and every one of you, and also the friendships that have been made through Next Step, where some of you guys wouldn't have necessarily known each other until coming to one of our events or the men's group or ice bars. Yes, you two can touch each other, it's fine. Now, had that been a year ago, that would have been really awkward, but here they are. And I think that's the vibe of the Next Step, It's like, no, it's not. Anyway. I'm just going to go through a few things, and if I can get the clicker to work as well as Matt did, that was the acknowledgement I was supposed to have before. Look, a lot of you already know what we do and why we're doing it, but the board made me put what do they call it, an elevator pitch together with then our key little parts, and then I just love throwing in a hashtag every now and then. I don't know if that's still like 1990s or whatever. When did hashtags come out? But anyway, hashtag, what is the next step? And, I think when we ask each other, what's the next step? It sort of suggests, like, for ourselves, just to reflect for a moment and have a look where we are in life, and we can always challenge ourselves for that next step. Maybe it's the next step towards improvement. Maybe it's the next step towards rest. Maybe it's the next step towards just reflecting on where we're at in life and just taking a moment to check in with ourselves, because I think as men especially, we don't do that enough, and it's something that we talk about at our men's group a lot. Yes, we're here normalising men's mental health challenges, but also to lift each other up and show up for one another. So important. I think, when I speak to guys out in community, that stigma sort of sits around coming to a men's group. We're broken, or we've got something wrong, and we're going to end up in a funny farm or something like this. I'll use all the slang words of things that we're probably not meant to do in the professional space, but hey, we're in community. So, I think we forget how important it is, even though if we have gone through our own struggles and adversities within our own lives, how important that is to bring to the table for others. And essentially what Matt and Kim has done here for us today, it gives us a point to feel that and reflect on our own selves. And I know for me personally, I'm going to go away and not go back to the drawing board, but there's definitely going to be some tweaks I'm going to be making this week, because we're in constant improvement, I feel, day to day with ourselves, and it's something that I'll talk about a little bit more. Hopefully we are reducing the stigma for us boys, us lads, and I think we are slowly. It's getting better. Matt and I were just discussing, how awesome it is to look around this room and, maybe 10, even 20 years ago, to get a bunch of relatively young blokes in a room, tats, shaved heads, beards, some better looking than others, of course. But to get a whole heap of guys in a room like this and talk about this stuff, it almost wouldn't have been heard about, right? And the fact that we as a charity in a roundabout way are doing that with others as well, doing their thing. And I think collectively as a community, we're building stronger, healthier, more resilient, more emotionally stable men, which is really important. Because a lot of men don't have good role models, I think, or I feel. And I'm not allowed to share my perspective because apparently my supervisor at Australian Institute of Professional Counselling told me yesterday I was being patronising. But anyway, she was 64 and I choked her out. But anyway, no, I didn't. That's domestic violence, and that's also bad. But anyway, but we're still out there providing that professional support. We're there to give referral information, even just to guys in our community like Matt, and Johan's at the back there. He's another friend of mine. He's a counsellor, and we train at the gym together, and he pops in special occasions, just little things at our men's group. It's unreal. Such a legend. But, having relationships within our community and having us all having access to these people, or just at least know that these people are there for us, you know, I mean, half the battle's done as far as I'm concerned. We know we've got a net underneath us to catch each one of us, and there's always going to be that lending ear or someone to lean on if we need it and when we want it, and that's really important. We've had a bit of a change in directorship. Julia stays, Simo, doctor, piece of shit. Still, I say that affectionately, of course. He's up in Queensland. Justin's still out north. He's running our North Arm coordination. We've taken on Ben Wade now. He's been appointed as director to replace Bretty. Bretty, you might have seen a post. He's having a few life transitional things happening, and no, he's not having a sex change. He's actually moving to Bali with his new girlfriend, and he just doesn't have the capacity to put time and energy into this and helping behind the scenes through chat and things like that. And then unfortunately you've got me today. On our advisory board, we've still got Nick Bullock there, Luke Walsh, Shannon Dowling. You might know Shannon, he's now started from Right Media to yeah, buddy. And then Nathan Kentish, and he's just gone, but we've got Ash Fry, who's just come on our advisory board too. Lovely guy, does all of our IT and website stuff. Although I did do this PowerPoint, so please, you know, bit of respect. Yeah, thank you. I wish Ash was here to say, oh, Ash, me. I just want to quickly do this. I did this down at the Christie's Beach Footy Club and the Cove Footy Club. They did a mental health round just the other week, and I had to go do a presentation to those lads. And I thought this was a really good little icebreaker to chuck in because everyone's sort of sitting there like, oh, mental health, oh no, what are we going to talk about? But I just went, all right, we're going to get to know you, bro. All right? The person sitting next to you, whether you know them or not, preferably not maybe, but if you know them, fantastic. Ask them right now, I'm going to give you a couple of minutes. I want you to ask them what their strength is, what's been going really well for them lately, what their stretch is, right? What have you been struggling with lately? And then I want them to check in. Ask them, how are you out of 1 to 10 today? Just today, where are you at on the scale? 1 being absolutely shit house and 10 being the best I've ever been. All right, time starts now. Off you go. All right. Thank you, everyone. How'd you all go? Good? Excellent. Out of what you guys just discussed, and I just want to get a bit of feedback because this is exactly what we did at the footy clubs. Out of the strengths, someone in the room, did you learn something about the person sitting next to you, what's been going really well for them lately? Yeah. Yep. Cool. What was it? Does anyone want to share? We're allowed to share?
Family work.
Unreal. Fantastic. And stretches. Few people got some challenges going on in their lives at the moment.
Work was a common one.
Yep.
Relationships.
Health.
Grief.
Absolutely. And then where was everyone sort of sitting on the scale? Em, how was your partner?
He was actually really good. Like, he could say he was like a 10 out of 10 this week.
Oh, it's my birthday today, so...
Yeah. Oh, happy birthday! Yeah, Azzy!
And he was talking to the fan as well.
I was actually going to skip the next question because she's running a 3 right now. It reflects badly. And Azzy, how's Em going? Where was she on the scale?
No, she's good. I'd say about a 8, 9.
Is that what she said, 8, 9? Yeah, I knew that. Yeah, cool. Picked the wrong couple. And how about out the back? Jordan?
Tom was running at a 7.
Cool.
And yeah, yourself was about an 8. So it's really,
8, fantastic.
Really good. Yeah.
Right, 1 to 3s? Anyone 1 to 3 category? No. 4 to 6? Anyone sitting in a 4 to 6? You're a 6. That's okay, mate. Thank you for sharing. And then everyone else is probably a 7 to a 9, and we had 1 10. Any more 10s? Hey! 2 10 out of 10. So good. And guys and girls, the reason why I love that exercise is that only took us a few minutes. Hardly any time at all when you think about it. Right? We created a little bit of conversation. We got to know a little bit more in-depthly the person sitting next to us, what's been going well, what they're struggling with, and where they're sitting at. Do you know, and this is something that we don't do enough, with our friends, our family, and even with ourselves. And I think it's really important exercise just to remember that it only takes a couple of minutes just to stop, rest, build it into that resilience piece Maddie was talking about. It's so important. Because, I guess the old saying is if we're not working on ourselves to some degree and looking for those areas where we can improve, then I guess what are we doing? Why not work on ourselves just that little bit, not only to better ourselves, but to better, hopefully as a role model to the people in our lives. We were sort of talking about before being maybe a better husband, better partner, better brother, just a better civilian. We can always improve. I feel anyway. I know we always do the stats, all right? You guys have probably seen this many a times, but this is why Next Step exists. These things don't lie. So 2023 is out. You've probably all relatively well read on this by now. 3,214 lives, okay, in the year. Right, slightly less than 2022, but not significant enough yet to notice any real change. Right, we're still looking at on an average 7 men a day. Right, when I was down the footy clubs, I was saying let's just take this week, for example. Let's say there's 20 blokes on a footy team, roughly, okay? Over the week, 49 blokes have lost 2.5 footy teams in 1 week. So I said, if you take that on a 2-week scale, and we think about your AFL teams, we're taking out 5 of your AFL or your favourite AFL teams every fortnight. Gone. To this. We talk about epidemics. That's an epidemic. Imagine from this point right now till two weeks' time, we've lost 5 footy teams out of the AFL, or however you want to look at it. It's huge. And why? Why does this need to happen? That's my biggest question. This is my biggest passion. Why? Why the fuck do men keep killing themselves? 75% of suicides occur in this country, 2,410 men in 2023. You can read. Within the construction and allied industries, all male-dominated industries, we're looking at 80% higher. So generally, we're looking at 2 times higher than any other industry, all right? We talk about this in the assist package, these numbers, 65% of attempts made or roughly each year. That equates to, half a million, Australians impacted. Right, Beyond Blue have got this statistic that says that for every suicide outcome, there's 135 people affected, right? But then I'll go, yeah, cool. Well, who in here knows Robin Williams? Raise your hand. I think everyone in the room could, right? We've got a global figure. He's not just affecting 500,000 Australians. He's affecting millions of people across the world, right? 20%, these statistics don't change either. 1 in 5 or 20% of Australians will experience a diagnosable mental health condition in a calendar year, all right? And 50% Australians will experience a diagnosable mental health challenge in their lifetime. So I always say, that's great for the 50% that don't, because, there is that part where I just don't get it. I hear it all the time. I just don't get it. That also, especially from supervisors with young apprentices, believe it or not, they don't believe in mental health. I just don't get it. He's using mental health as an excuse. Fucking back up, bro. Having to try to educate and remove those stigmas and trying to create some normalcy around this is probably one of the hardest challenges we have as a community. I know I've got a whole heap of people in here who see the other side of this, but there's still a lot of people who don't, okay? And that then, I feel, directly impacts those numbers that we're seeing at the top. So my whole thing is, look, even if you don't believe in it, and I know a lot of people in here definitely do, but even if you don't believe in it, just have some empathy and compassion around, okay? Have some empathy and compassion around the people that are experiencing these things, okay? I always go to this afterwards, wellbeing, what can we do, especially for ourselves as individuals now, and a lot of you are well read on this and know you're probably doing this as well, but the biggest thing that we're not seeing men do particularly is finding the correct support, okay? Just some professional support. It can be even a men's group, it can be this men's group. There's so many men's groups out there. There's men's tables coming up. All right, there's good, better, best men. There's the Southern Men's Gathering, retract that, I don't think, are they still kind of, no, gone. All right, there's all these different men's groups embedded in our community. Doesn't matter where you go, just go to one. Talk to other blokes, get to know each other. You might go to one and just go, oh, not me, go to somewhere else. That's fine. You've got to find your jam. Just the same way as you would with a psychologist or counsellor. Just because you go see a psychologist or counsellor doesn't mean if I go see Matt, doesn't mean he's going to fix all my problems. I might go see him and we can have this joke, but I might go see Matt and go, this guy's a jerk, he doesn't get me. Does that mean I stay? It's actually a true reflection of our last counselling session. No, but why would I, as someone who's struggling, stay in a therapeutic relationship with someone that I'm not getting along with? You know, those sessions are designed to help me. And I'm sure Matt, as he would, as being a good counsellor, would actually say, hey man, if we're not gelling, we've got other counsellors we can link you up with. Let's find the right support for you. Let's find the one that fits you. And that's what we need to see more of, promoting each other's, referring each other, and helping to get the best outcomes for the individual is really necessary. But as individuals, you know, we can do all these wonderful things that are up there, all right, our routines. Who's happy with their structure and their routine right now? Got it nailed, absolutely down-packed. Yeah, pretty good? No? There was a, yeah, oh, now I'm thinking about it, no. Diet and nutrition, everyone nailing that? Everyone eating exactly how they want? No, yeah, no, maybe?
I was 2 years to buy pizza.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that was the hotel. Thank you, ALH. Everyone's getting good enough sleep, smashing their sleep at the moment, getting enough, waking up, feeling rested, getting to bed on time, all those wonderful things. Everyone's done their exercise today, no doubt. Weekly, getting there, doing it. And, you know, I think it's funny how we shape exercise these days. You know, exercise can be seen as that, especially for men, that 1 hour in a gym. You know, we just go there, bang, session's done, but everything else outside of the gym isn't considered exercise. You know, but we go walking, we go running, you know, we might even just be lifting the kids around or we're working on the shed. This is all part of physical movement. This is still all exercise. So just because you haven't gone to the gym doesn't mean you haven't exercised, you've moved your body. So finding ways to do that is really important. And like Chris from the slide, who couldn't go to the gym, you know, changing that mindset and going, well, hey, just because you're not in a set environment that suggests this is you exercising, doesn't mean that everything else down here, what you're doing, isn't part of that. We've just got to change the way we're thinking of things. Drug and alcohol awareness, we all know that. Mental health management tools and these alternative approaches. It's wonderful to see a lot of guys starting to get into the breath work, the meditation, the mindfulness, even yoga, music is a great thing, you know, especially when Jesse's playing. I might book him at home one day just to do a meditation session. Not weird, maybe a little bit. And how important it is to have a digital detox, just switch off from that freaking phone. You know, that thing that just drives up artificial, well, it's not artificial, but drives our dopamine through the roof, you know, when we could be getting it in such a better way, you know, and takes us away from the very things that we essentially probably should be focusing on, like family is a good one. But my biggest thing there is, you know, anything that you enjoy that creates focus and helps the brain reprieve away from all the stresses or the things that we may be struggling with, and just creates a little bit of time to just be present with something. You know, whether it's reading a book, doing a jigsaw puzzle, just going for a walk. You know, taking that little bit of time, guys, is essential for us. Effective communication and conversations with others and ourselves is really important. Who's beaten themselves up today in a conversation up here? Yep. I have. You know, and being mindful of that is really important. You know, I find it very interesting. I know everybody in this room would have the capacity to talk very nicely to someone else if they had made a mistake or stuffed something up or had done this, right? I know most of you are all here. You're all very compassionate, loving, empathetic people. Yet, all these still the same people, they do that same mistake or they stuff up, and check in with a narrative in your own head. So why can't we speak to ourselves the same way we're speaking to our best mates? And that's where we should be at. We should be talking to ourselves like our best mates. We should be lifting ourselves up like our best mates, treating ourselves like our best mates. All right? Unless your best mate is Rizzo, and then you can just do whatever. No, I'm joking. You're right. And then helping others is essentially a wonderful thing. We all know it. I think everybody in this room has at least helped someone in their life. I know it. All right? Otherwise, you wouldn't all be here. But doing that within your capacity. Maddie talked about capacity. Just because we're not probably helping to the extent that we'd like, doesn't mean we're not helping. We've got to look after ourselves as well and preserve our own energy and top that up so we can give it to others. Quick shameless plug, the men's group's been going for about 2.5 years now. We're down at Fluorio Wellness now. It's once a month. It's definitely creating connection. We're normalising stuff in there. We do have stigma reduction. It's a form of psychotherapy, it's talk therapy. We've got information seeking there, support seeking, and out of that we've built this messenger group that I know a lot of you are in, and it's just amazing. Some nights I actually get a little bit teary watching even people in this room supporting one another and getting around each other and helping them in the most beautifulest ways as well. And I just think, wow, what an awesome platform that we've created for men to come together and share those experiences with one another. And it's a space where we can just feel validated, seen and heard. I think sometimes as men, we feel like we're sitting in the shadows, and it's a great place where you can come and be there, show up however you want to. Yes, we love cold water, and I do. I love all the benefits of this, and I'm not going to bang on about it, but it's not just through resilience or the ego or this trying to create these gym bro sort of thing where we go getting cold water because we're fucking macho males. No, it's none of that. It's literally about the physical and biological aspects of what cold water does to our nervous system, the hormone response within us, and what it does to our immune system too. Yes, there's the adversity. Yes, there's the resilience of strength to sit in it, but the biological effects that it's doing to our bodies far outweighs the ego, I guarantee you. Now, if you haven't come, let me just let you know today, check the Next Step story. We had 2 of the Moana Dawn Dippers. We had Soph and Annie? Soph and Annie, I think. Yeah, they came in. Soph's about 63 and Annie was 72. And they did the full 3 minutes, right? Solid. So if anyone in here is saying they can't jump in an ice bath, well, I'd like you to come and speak to Soph and Annie because they'll change your mind. They were unbelievable. So good. We've started collaborating with Troy, as a lot of you might know. He's providing men's specific breath workshops once a month now. He was going to be here today. He messaged me just to say, can't come, I'm crook, which is fine, but this is an integral part that I think we'd been missing for a long time. And then when Troy hit us up, I'm like, mate, let's go for it. Let's get as many guys there as possible. And if you haven't attended one, please come and learn off Troy. It's not the type of breath work you can emulate or recreate at home by yourself, and that's why I like it. It's one of those things where you actually are in practice, you've been guided, and he takes you on a full journey. Whereas, if we were to try to do his style of breath work at home, I just don't think you would achieve the same amount of, or you just wouldn't achieve the same level of skill that he guides you through. So keep an eye out on our events page for stuff like that with Troy. Shameless plug on the assist package. These are our current numbers at the moment. We've trained 90 assist trained community champions by myself and Justin last year and this year. And we funded 58 participants out of our own pocket. That's where all of our funds were going to through 2022 and 2023. So our number stands at 148 community members all around Adelaide trained in assist. So I'm really proud of that number, and to know that there's 148 people having 148 better conversations and may potentially 148 lives saved every conversation that they have. Absolutely gunning for that number to grow, and I'm hoping to see that probably around 160 to 180 by the end of the year. which I'm sure we'll achieve. That will do. Go check out our website if you haven't been on it for a while. Your SIS workshops are there. You've got the subscription page. You can buy the merch. Don't forget to subscribe. There's things on there. $2.50 a week, right? This is probably one of my, because we're all family here today, this is probably, and I'm not trying to guilt anyone, but if you can get a mate, even a mate or 3 mates to sign up to us for $2.50, I was at a function where I had to speak about the charity, right? And I was watching all these people with probably about $40 worth of food, coffees and waters and things with oranges hanging off of them and all this type of stuff. And I'm sort of sitting there going, we're a self-funded charity, right? And our money goes back into the community. You know, the amount of appointments we have paid for men seeking professional support because they don't have the funds. And I'll ring the psychologist and go, we'll pay, we'll do it. Like, just make sure they've got a mental health care plan, whatever their gap is, we'll pay it to make sure that they're in there to help offset not only the financial stress, but to offset that person potentially taking their life, right? The kitty does run low, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it gets to the point some days I go, why am I fucking doing this? I wanna hang up the boots. But Matt and I were even just talking before, you know, it's just that one conversation, it's that one person that you hear of that you've made that difference or are still alive because of conversations or whatever. I go, $2.50 a week and you guys are eating $40 worth of whatever, come on, help us out. So, shameless plug. So far this year, we continue to give that post-suicide support to families around the coast here. Financial support for men seeking professional support, like I just said. Countless check-ins and phone calls and face-to-face meetings. We've done 8 men's group sessions since the start of the year, 16 cold water therapy sessions, 3 assist workshops. We've had 8 directors meetings, 3 advisory board meetings, and with the beautiful man, Mark Cohen, with the Onkaparinga Youth, we're both involved in a program called Mentality, where there's been 8 sessions of that in the last year as well, and we've got another one coming up. I think we're on at Kaipo Forest, and again, that's volunteer time, just getting around 12 to 17-year-old young men in our community who have got some struggles of their own and challenges and just need a little bit of reprieve from their home life and need some, some really good male mentor figures in their life, and then me coming along going, yeah, I'll just join in. I should probably be one of the kids there, but I think that's why they bring me, because it makes them look smarter. But I absolutely love that and the connections that we've built, and see these young lads just develop over the last 8 months has been, it's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. So thank you for listening and thank you for being here. Yes, it would have been nice to see a few more bums on seats and get this message out there, but hey, the important people are here and the people that need to be here are in the room. And once again, thanks, Matt. Loved your delivery today, mate, and making it so personal for us for today. And Kim, mate, you always blow me away when you talk, and thank you again for your story and your time. Really appreciate it, guys, and thank you all.